So I got this book, Pagan Mythology, Wisdom of the Ancients. 1891, Lord Bacon, and this is a modern reprint with narration. So I want to put things into perspective for you. Keep in mind that in ancient times, very few could read. Rather, there were large gatherings around an orator, a poet, an entertainer, who would tell the old tales to the crowd. And there was competition to be that orator, that entertainer. And no doubt they poured out emotion and drama and embellished the old tales, adding a touch here, a detail there. But the core story remains. The story of the arrival of our new sun, the changing of the guard. The narrator of this book mistakenly attempts to explain away myth as though it were derived only through human psychology, and he claims it is essentially philosophy. He ignorantly dismisses the global memorialization of the battles of the planets in our ancient skies. The mythology of the hero slaying the monster. And it is easily understood through the lens of understanding the original 3 planets of the configuration that were visible. And that radiant Venus was the queen of heaven. And all the various plasmatic, electric, lightning engagements of planets. Knowing about the cosmic mountain and the morphing Taurus field, I'll give you an example of poetic embellishment cast over actual events. From the book on page 23, I quote, "The fable relates that Perseus was dispatched from the east by Pallas to cut off Medusa's head, who had committed great ravage upon the people of the west. For this, Medusa was so dire a monster as to turn into stone all those who but looked upon her. She was a Gorgon and the only mortal one of the 3. End quote. Now, it is also said later that when Perseus, the hero, cut off her head, winged Pegasus darted out of the gushing blood. Who is Medusa? She is Venus of the configuration. Who is the hero? He is the new sun. Who is winged Pegasus? He is the winged disk. The magnetic field of a planet. And very often in literature I see planets or moons referred to as horses or steeds. For example, look up the steeds of Mars. Now, this book also relates the mythology of Pan, the horned goat god. And I have no doubt the origins of Pan are the Taurus field, seen when the bull of heaven was being ripped apart. This book says Pan was president of the mountains. This is because of the cosmic mountain where he was seen. This book says Pan captured Typhon with a net. Typhon was a cosmic dragon. And Pan with his flute. I can't help but see the correlation to the famous flute-playing Kokopelli petroglyphs, the plasmatic morphing Taurus field. Where do you think the origins of Cupid shooting his arrows comes from? It is most certainly planetary phenomena. Another quote from the book, page 26. The goddess Luna is said to have fallen in love with the shepherd Endymion, and to have carried on her amours with him in a new and singular manner, it being her custom whilst he lay reposing in his native cave under Mount Latmus, to descend frequently from her sphere, enjoy his company whilst he sleep, and then go up to heaven again. End quote. Again, who is she? She is Venus. Who is he? He is Saturn. What is Mount Latmus? It is the same as Mount Zion, Mount Zaphon, and Mount Olympus, the cosmic mountain. As the configuration is captured and destabilized, calamity and catastrophe ensue until the hero, the new sun, slays the dragon and saves the day. It is the same for Orpheus and his wife cast into the regions of Pluto, they say. Page 33, and I quote, "Before Jupiter was well established in his empire, two memorable wars were made upon him. The first by the Titans, in subduing of whom Sol, S-O-L, the only one of the Titans who favored Jupiter, performed him singular service. The second by the giants, who being destroyed and subdued by the thunder and arms of Jupiter, he now reigns supreme." End quote. Just as I have been saying, Sun and Jupiter were a separate system that merged with our Saturnian system. Also confirmed by NASA's Genesis probe. The book says the gift of perpetual youth was transferred from men to snakes, as if we once had it. Perhaps we did. I tell you, they will never find the fountain of youth. It was cast out and down to Tartarus.